in any computer-based environment, you have to have storage, right? If I've got my notebook computer, I've got a drive in the notebook computer, so as I can fire up my notebook. I play around with Raspberry Pis, if you know what they are. They're super cool. Even a Raspberry Pi, really basic computing system, needs some storage so that it can start up from an operating system. And Azure, of course, is no different. The difference with Azure, of course, is that it is storage on a massive scale, and it is storage on a managed scale, meaning that you're not worrying about the physical implementation of the storage. Microsoft's doing that for you. You're just using that storage, whether it's using storage to create virtual hard drives for your virtual machines, whether it is really very much behind the scenes in support of web apps where you never even see the storage, or if you are using storage directly as part of your own application workload. All of these things are supported, and they're supported on massive scale within the Azure environment. And we are going to get into this later on in this course, but just some of the key features that are available within the storage service, let's talk about those right now. First of all, your storage center, you get the ability to select where you are storing. So there are a number of data centers. You actually don't specify an exact data center, you specify a location, whether it's East US or maybe West Europe, or wherever it is that you want to store across the globe. There are data centers across the globe. There are data centers opening up all the time. And well, not all the time, but there are continuously data centers being developed and brought online. And so wherever you are, you always want to pick a data center that's close to you. There's a lot of reasons for that. Also, very, very cool, you can set up geo-replication. And we'll talk about the way that data is protected within a data center, but even beyond that, you can replicate data to a completely different region. So perhaps I have my primary data in the East US, and I want to keep a replica of that in the West US, and you can do that. Very cool stuff. Now, you have a number of storage structures that you can work with, and we'll talk about this. A couple of common ones are binary large objects, or blobs, and also files. You can actually set up a file share that works just like a Windows file share, but it's hosted completely in the Azure environment. Pretty cool stuff. We'll talk about a couple of other ways to store data and to architect data within the Azure environment. Now, obviously very important, security. There are a number of ways of securing data within the Azure environment. We're going to talk about that, whether it's setting up what are called policies and shared access signatures, or using access keys and setting up actual role-based authentication within the Azure environment itself. A lot of security capabilities that are built around making sure that your data is protected properly. Obviously, if you've got data, you need to be able to upload files, and we'll talk about that. Or how do we access data once it's into the Azure environment, or how do we actually get that data into the Azure environment in the first place? I think those are both of those last bullet points. So we'll find that we have this massive scale storage capability. It's provided really through a variety of sharing capabilities, whether it's a very native file share capability, working directly with binary large objects, or even, as we'll see, working with data tables or even queuing. All of these capabilities are provided through this massive scale storage service available within Azure.